Alright, I'm going to do a semi-short video going over the basics of this optical rail setup. Foremost you have your helium neon tube, you have the actual optical rail itself, you have your mount that holds your mirror mount, and you have your two mounts for your two adjustable mounts for the tube itself. And lastly, you have your adapter for your mirror. This goes in your mirror mount. Currently, I'm mounting a broadband yellow to red high reflector. Perfect. Sometimes you have problems with the mirror kind of catching on the side, on the threads. I have that problem with a certain mirror. It will probably just be unused permanently, simply due to the fact that it is a royal pain to mount. So this is similar in setup to your G lenses or your glass lenses, where it's got that metal ring with two notches on the top, and you just have to catch one of those with like a screwdriver and then get it kind of near the top and then use your finger. It's very similar to that. Actually, it's exactly that. Set this off to the side. So I have the mirror mounted, as you can see. And I'm going to then mirror mount within, there we go. I'm going to raise it so that it's meeting the beam in the center of the mirror. Okay, let me go over the basic functionality here. I have two adjustable knobs, as you can see. This is your X for your horizontal. This one is going to be your Y for your vertical. So the way I start off is I like to get my vertical aligned for the most part. Obviously it's not going to be perfect, but start off with that. And then I'm going to get my horizontal. And right now it's actually on the edge of the tube, and the oversaturation is immense. The tube really is not that bright. I've got my X. Focus on the Y. Now what you're going to see here is when I get this perfectly aligned, this spot is going to get ever so slightly brighter. Now it's not going to be remarkably brighter, but you will notice a change. I'll tell you when that change should be occurring. Right about now. Are you going to see if I go beyond? See how it gets dimmer? See? Bright, dim. Bright, dim. And that's just, I'm just making very slight adjustments. Even the vertical, you're getting the same problem. Dim, bright, dim. Try to get it right on there. It's actually just a little bit over. Well, that's just about going to do it. Now, my output on this end, beyond the mirror, is substantially decreased. I'm only seeing, I'm still getting my 3 lines. This is actually the fabled 4-line helium neon tube. On this end, I'm getting my 3 stable lines. 4th line is not. No. 4th line is not currently here. 4th line is very unstable. The 609-ish line. So if I could get a little bit of smoke in there. I try not to use a fogger because I don't want to get too much smoke in the room, set off fire alarms and all that. But I do have the ability to make a little bit of smoke with a lighter and an index card. Again, a little bit of smoke. You're going to see the substantial visibility in the external cavity here. And just barely see it. Oh, I misaligned it a little bit. See, just the littlest changes can misalign it. Actually, you're not going to see it given that angle. Let me just make sure it's all good here. Now that is significantly brighter than and that's just with a little bit of smoke. So that shows, you know, how the extra power you're going to have within this external cavity here. So that covers it with helium neon, and I wish I could show you the real brightness of the actual gain here. However, the tube itself is highly oversaturating the camera. It's not even nearly that bright. So that covers the basics using a helium neon. It's getting a bit late here. I don't really feel like lugging out the tunable just to have it on for 10-15 minutes and then, you know, put it all away. So the video with the argon will be done tomorrow. And that one you can really see the external cavity especially well with the 514 line. It's very visible. I'm not sure as far as the cameras go. Again, I haven't done it with the camera, but to the eye, it's much more visible. So that covers that. If you have any questions as far as, you know, with this, what I can do with it, Z raffle ticket, I guess you can consider that a shout out. He asked me, you know, what about putting a grating in there? Well, if I were to put a grating in between, you know, right here, yes, there are some things I can do with it. However, right off the bat, the first thing you're going to notice is it's going to cut off the external cavity. So basically, right here, I have several tens of milliwatts. Nothing spectacular, you know, not to the hundreds of watts or anything like that. But I have tens of milliwatts right here. However, if I would, and that's only because what's happening is the laser is exiting. I have my 1.98 milliwatts right here. It is then hitting this and then resonating throughout the entire tube. Again, through this mirror, and then bouncing off that mirror, going through this mirror, hitting that mirror, etc. So what was previously within just the tube itself has now become external. Now, not 100% of it, but still, there's a great deal of power right here. However, when I block that off, it's just going to go to the 1.98, of course, because this mirror is no longer here. However, if I were to put a grating, and this mirror wasn't in its current state, if I could rotate it, you know, more so this direction, then in theory, a tunable laser is possible. Now, the way that would work is I would need, actually, this mirror would need to be, instead of here, I would need around here. What would happen is your grating would be in place, your line would come out, your laser output would come out, would hit the grating, it would then split in, you know, this direction, and then up or down, perhaps. However, I would get it, you know, obviously going in one or the other. So then would come out, exit, you'd have your mirror, roughly like that. It would exit, hit the mirror, go back in, excuse me, then back into the tube. Now, you would need to be able to change the mirror's position in order to only reflect one line. Actually, you wouldn't even change the mirror. You would need to be able to change the grating, pardon. So you need to be able to tilt the grating in such a way that the spectrum itself tilted with it, so that, you know, you have one dot here, one dot here, one dot here, one dot here, and your mirror is, you know, around here only receiving one dot at a time. If you were to move the spectrum would shift, so that, boom, that line is hitting, and then that line, and then that line. It's a very poor explanation, but I did my best. And the same applies with your intra-cavity setup, except it would be more of an extra cavity setup here. You'd have your prism. You have your prism here in the beam, and again your lines would split coming out, and you'd have your mirror off to the side, like around here, and you would tilt your prism, allowing one dot at a time to hit your mirror, and then resonate through. And that's exactly how the tunable laser works. It has an intra-cavity prism that does that exact function. And that's possible with this setup. However, I've not done it yet. I might give it a shot. Biggest problem is stability with the mirror. You know, I can't have my mirror right here. It's just, I guess I could. Maybe. I'd have to think about it. I'm doing a lot of thinking on the spot here. So that's the basic setup of your external cavity. And I guess I could have it set up like that. And I would just have to put my mirror way up here. And have the tube a little closer, and then have my prism on a horizontal position, so which when the beams hit, they diffract upwards. And I could maybe do that. Anyway, that's further down the line. I'll deal with that another day. So that's your basic external cavity setup. Again, I'm going to do one tomorrow with the tunable. I wish I could do one with the 488 single line, however, I have some catastrophic damage within the power supply, a couple blown components, some ripped circuit board. It's not pretty. I was, however, able to repair the power supply for the tunable. However, this one is not going to be nearly as easy, I guess. So that covers that. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, go ahead and message me, or I guess post. I mean, if you post, then I can answer it in public, and it'll be, I'm sure you're not the only one that has the same question. I feel like a teacher. So, thank you for watching, and have a good one.